The sea betrayed me, not once, but every single night since I stole that cursed map. No compass works here. No wind blows. Just silence and screams beneath the water. They say the Black Mirage appears only when you're about to die. But I'm Captain Jack Sparrow, and I intend to rob death itself. Raise the sails, lads. We chase a ghost ship no pirate ever returned from. The map that shouldn't exist. The ocean was still. Too still. Captain Jack Sparrow narrowed his eyes at the horizon, where the moon spilled silver light over the water like a ghost's whisper. The night was unnaturally quiet. No gulls. No waves. Just the low creak of the silent wench, his patched-up sloop, drifting over calm waters that didn't seem to breathe. Jack stumbled up to the wheel, half drunk, half awake, and fully annoyed. "Bloody sea's gone boring," he mumbled, eyeing the bottle in his hand and tossing it overboard. "Where are the storms? The monsters?" He stopped. There, stuck between the boards of the helm, was something odd. A rolled scroll, burned at the edges, tied with black rope. He frowned. That wasn't there before. He reached for it. The moment his fingers touched the rope, the ship groaned. Wood bent. A sudden gust of freezing wind sliced through the sails, nearly knocking him off his feet. The bottle he tossed overboard moments ago floated back, upright, as if the sea had refused to take it. Jack stared, then slowly untied the rope. Inside the scroll was a map, but not one drawn in ink. It was drawn in blood. In a dark tavern in Tortuga, earlier that week, Jack had heard whispers of a ship called the Black Mirage, a vessel that could not be seen with open eyes, only when drunk, cursed, or near death. A ship that appeared like heat rising off water, shimmery, smoky, untouchable. He thought it was rum talk, tavern tales, pirate nonsense. But the map in his hand, it pulsed. The lines shifted like veins. Islands moved when he blinked. And at the center, surrounded by a triangle of red, was one word: Mirage. Jack didn't like cursed things. Cursed gold. Cursed skeletons. Cursed ex-fiancés. But cursed maps? Those were irresistible. "Gibbs," Jack barked, stumbling toward the cabin below deck. A grumble echoed from inside, followed by a crash and a snore. Mr. Gibbs emerged, rubbing his eyes, one shoe missing. "Captain," he muttered. "It's the dead of night." Jack slapped the map against his chest. "It's also the dead of logic. Look." Gibbs squinted at the writhing paper, took a step back. "That ain't ink." "Nope." "That ain't natural." "Nope." "That ain't safe." "Exactly." Jack grinned. "Which means it's perfect." By sunrise, the course was set. They were sailing toward the Silent Triangle, a stretch of sea feared even by the Royal Navy. Compass needles spun wild there. Ships vanished. Sailors aged 10 years in a day, if they returned at all. "Remind me again," Gibbs asked warily, "why we're going toward the sea that eats ships?" "Because," Jack said, staring at the map, "this one owes me something." "You mean someone owes you?" Jack's eyes narrowed. "No, I mean this. The sea. The myth. The ship. The Black Mirage." He didn't tell Gibbs what he remembered from years ago. The one night long ago, when he was bleeding out after a duel, adrift on driftwood, half-conscious, and he saw it. The silhouette of a ship made of shadows and moonlight, gliding silently across the horizon. No sails. No crew. Just presence. He'd thought it a hallucination. Until now. The wind changed. By noon the next day, clouds had thickened. The sky was bruised purple, the sea below darker still. The crew grew restless. They were all loyal to coin, to rum, and reluctantly to Jack. But even they started whispering of turning back. "Bad luck ahead," one muttered. "This map smells of death." "The sea don't feel right," said another. "It's watching us." Even the rats had jumped ship the night before. Jack ignored them. Until the sky cracked. Thunder roared without warning. Not a roll, but a snap like bone breaking. The ship lurched. Water exploded upward in a spiral beside them, a waterspout. But wrong. The shape was off. Too angular. Too structured. Gibbs shouted, "That ain't wind, Captain. That's a hand." Indeed, from beneath the sea, an enormous clawed silhouette rose, slicing through the water, reaching, but not for them. For the map. The map in Jack's hand caught fire. He yelped, tossed it on the deck. But it didn't burn. The flames danced cold and blue, licking the map's edges without destroying it. Then, as suddenly as it began, the storm ceased. Silence returned. But now, the silent wench wasn't alone. Floating about 300 meters off starboard was another ship, or what looked like one. It shimmered, bent light. Its sails were stitched from shadows, its hull blurred at the edges like mist. It wasn't anchored, wasn't moving, wasn't real. And yet it was there. Gibbs whispered, "Is that?" Jack licked his lips. "Aye. The Black Mirage." A rope ladder unrolled itself from the side of the ghostly ship. No crew moved. No anchor dropped. No sails flapped. Jack adjusted his hat. "Well then," he said, "I suppose it'd be rude not to knock." Jack Sparrow stepped onto the rope ladder with a grin that didn't reach his eyes. The moment his boot touched the lowest rung, the ocean beneath turned black, not with ink or oil, but absence, as if the water had given up on being water. The crew of the silent wench stood frozen, gripping ropes and masts, eyes wide, breath held. "Don't wait up," Jack called without looking back. "Unless you want cursed by association." The ladder felt alive. Each rope strand pulsed faintly, not with heartbeat, but memory. With every step upward, Jack's surroundings flickered. A woman's scream in the wind, a sword's clang, the scent of betrayal. Things he'd lived through. Or maybe hadn't. Time was slippery here. At the top, his hand touched cold wood. Except it wasn't. The deck of the Black Mirage felt like smoke trapped in solid form. Dry, dense, but vanishing the second he blinked too hard. The ship groaned softly, as if annoyed by his weight. Jack stood straight, dusted his coat, and said to the nothingness, "Permission to come aboard granted, obviously." No reply, just silence, and the feeling that 1,000 invisible eyes were watching. No crew, no lanterns, no wind. Only a single door at the end of the deck, jet black with a gold handle, shaped like a serpent eating its tail. He reached for it. The moment he touched the handle, a mirror appeared on the door's surface. But it didn't show him. It showed the silent wench behind him, and it was on fire. No, no, no. Jack turned around. The ship was fine. He turned back. The mirror now showed himself, standing on the Mirage's deck, smiling. But his reflection blinked twice, while he hadn't blinked at all. Jack took a step back. Oh, bugger me sideways. The door swung open on its own. Inside was a captain's cabin, but frozen in time. Plates floated midair. Dice hovered over the table, mid-roll. A spilled cup of rum poured upward, defying gravity. And at the desk sat a figure, cloaked, still, face hidden beneath a wide black pirate hat. "Captain," Jack said. The figure didn't move. Jack edged closer, boots silent against the unnatural floor. He noticed the figure was made of parchment, skin like rolled map, fingers curled over the arms of the chair, fingernails shaped like compass needles, and pinned to the figure's chest with a dagger, a note. Jack leaned in and read, "To take the treasure, give what you fear most. Captain Rorik, keeper of the Mirage." Rorik, Jack whispered. That name hadn't crossed lips in decades. A myth among myths. The man who once commanded the sea, then vanished chasing immortality. Jack reached for the dagger. As he pulled it free, the entire ship shuddered. Back on the silent wench, Gibbs shouted, "He's been gone too long." Before anyone could move, the sea cracked. A second Black Mirage appeared, identical, ghostly, but upside down, suspended in the sky like a mirror. It hovered above them silently. Then the waters beneath boiled, hissing as if rejecting reality. Inside the Mirage, Jack stumbled as the floor twisted. The map man began to flake, burning from within. As he crumbled, the walls of the cabin shifted to glass, showing Jack visions from his past. Him betraying his crew to save himself. A chest of gold he buried and never returned for. A woman crying on a dock as he sailed away with her ring. The Kraken. Then something new. Jack older. Alone. Ashes in his hand. A broken compass. His name wiped from a gravestone. He growled, "Is this supposed to scare me?" The ship answered, "Not scare you." A voice whispered behind him, "Remind you." Jack spun. No one. He rushed out of the cabin, but the door was gone. The hallway stretched into infinity, filled with mirrors, each one showing alternate versions of himself. Captain Jack Sparrow, King of the Seven Seas. Jack Sparrow, executed in Port Royal. Jack Sparrow, retired boring. Jack Sparrow, undead skeletal, eyes glowing. Jack Sparrow, happy. He ran. The hallway didn't end. The ship was looping him. Back on the silent wench, ropes snapped. The sails tore. The ship tilted as if pulled by an unseen anchor. Gibbs yelled, "It's dragging us under." Then the ladder, the same one Jack climbed, dropped again, but it now reached skyward, toward the floating upside-down mirage above them. "What in bloody hell?" one sailor whispered. Jack was losing time. He dropped to his knees. The mirrors shattered around him. From the shards, black mist rose, taking shape, forming a tall, faceless figure wearing his hat. The mist being spoke with a voice layered over Jack's own. "What you seek has a cost. The treasure is real, but you are not." Jack clenched the dagger. "I'm as real as it gets, love." The figure stepped forward. "Then give me your fear." Jack grinned and plunged the dagger into his own shadow. The ship screamed. Everything dissolved into white. Jack Sparrow opened his eyes. But it wasn't his ship. It wasn't even his world. He stood barefoot on a cobbled street in Port Royal, polished clean, no smell of rum, no pirates, no ships in the harbor. The sea was gone. He staggered forward. People passed by in strange clothes. No one looked at him. A child walked through him like mist. He reached for his compass. Gone. He reached for his hat. Gone. He looked into a tavern window. No reflection. Then he saw it. A statue. In the center of town square. A golden hero, sword raised, eyes proud. The plaque read, "Captain Theodore Swan, Savior of the Seas." The man who stopped Sparrow's rebellion before it began. Jack's heart stopped. He hadn't been erased. He'd been rewritten. He whispered, "They stole my story." The sky cracked. A clock tower above split in half, and from the gap, he saw 1,000 versions of himself, trapped, screaming, fading. The mirage hadn't killed him. It had scattered him across time. And only one version could return. Jack ran. Not toward anything. There was no toward here. The streets of Golden Port Royal melted behind him, reforming as stone corridors, jungle trails, ship decks. Time was folding. The mirage had turned reality into a looping dream, and every door he opened led to a different version of himself. In one, he was rich, king of an empire, but alone. In another, he was old, forgotten, whispering to a broken compass in a bottle. Then a flash. A child, holding a compass. "Who are you?" Jack asked. The child grinned. "I'm who you were before you lied to yourself." Before Jack could speak, the boy vanished and left behind the compass. Jack picked it up. It spun wildly, then stopped, pointing up. He looked up and saw his own ship burning in the sky, upside down, with Gibbs screaming his name from the mast. The compass pulsed, not toward gold, not toward safety, but toward the one version of him that hadn't broken the oath. Jack whispered, "So that's the price." He gripped the compass tighter. Time to fix it. Jack leapt, not forward, but back in time. The compass pulled him through shattered skies, down into the burning silent wench, just as it was being consumed. His body hit the deck with a thud, but no fire touched him. Time paused. Gibbs stared in disbelief. "Captain, you were..." Jack grabbed his arm. No time. Literally. He stabbed the compass into the ship's wheel. It screamed. The mirage above exploded into stardust, raining down lost memories, ships, songs, faces, timelines. But one version remained. The real Jack Sparrow. And this time, he was ready to finish the curse.